Welcome on behalf of the Move America team. My name is Rick, and I head strategic communications here at Move America. Joining me, I have a few of my colleagues. I have Meg Pace, I have Leal Badoon, and we have our speaker, of course, who is Carolyn Campbell. So today we're going to be talking about, again, empowering small businesses through partnership, and we're going to give you an introduction to Move America. And we're going to give you some information about the DoD Mentor-Protégé Program. Just a few housekeeping notes before we get started. So we do have chat disabled for this webinar. If you wish to ask a question at any time during the webinar, please feel free to use the Q&A panel. That's the Q&A button right at the top of the screen in Teams. You can go ahead and ask your question in there. We'll be moderating the questions, and we're hoping to give enough time at the end of the webinar to answer as many questions as possible. If we don't get to your question today, we're going to be sure to reach back out to you with an answer. Please be watching our LinkedIn page. We're going to have some frequently asked questions in there as well. But again, we're going to try to get to as many questions as possible today. So again, my name is Rick, and I head strategic communications here at Move America. Like I said, today we're going to be talking about Move America, and we're going to be talking about the Mentor-Protégé Program. So let me start out with a little bit of background by Move America. And just so everybody knows, this webinar is being recorded, and we're going to make sure that we're going to share that recording after the webinar is over. But if there's anybody, again, who does not consent to be on a recorded webinar, again, your cameras are off, your microphones are off. That shouldn't be an issue. But if you do not consent to be on a recorded webinar, we have to give you the opportunity to please sign off of the webinar now, because it is being recorded for later use. So we're going to start out with this introduction to Move America. And again, what our mission is, Move America is a nonprofit organization with a mission of strengthening America's industrial base and supply chain to enhance our national security and economic competitiveness through 4 lines of efforts. So we really focus on 4 pillars. We focus on research and development, consortia development and management, business intelligence and assessments, and industrial-based development and management. That's really what our core mission is. We're trying to help strengthen the defense supply chain so that we are giving our warfighters, we're giving our military, we're giving our nation every bit of support that we can to make things successful, whether it's on the battlefield, whether it's in the office, whether it's in the business space. We're always trying to help. Now, one of the ways that we do help is, again, with small businesses. We try to give you the information that you need to help navigate that really tricky defense supply chain, because the procurement process can be a little crazy. And so that is one of the things that we do. And one of the ways that we really help small businesses or large businesses or any businesses, government, academia, doesn't matter. We're always trying to help, and we do that through our client services. So before we get started with Carolyn's presentation, I do want to introduce Leal Badoon. And Leal Badoon is in charge of client services. Leal, why don't you give us a quick overview of what you're doing with our client services program?
Absolutely. Thanks, Rick. Hi, everyone. Thank you for being here. Rick, can everyone hear me okay?
We can.
Okay, great. Awesome. So my name is Leal, and I oversee the client services here at specifically the MPP intermediary team, but I do help Move America in the broad and the whole. And I aid companies interested in working with Move America, interested in learning more about what we do, how we can help you, how you can get involved in both what maybe Apex accelerators can help you with, but more importantly, what MPP I can help you with. If you have any questions, any inquiries for assistance or guidance, or if you have any feedback about the webinar today, please shoot me an email. My email is right there. Have your name in there, the company that you are affiliated with, and how I could possibly help you move forward with your future in government contracting or with Move America. And that's about it for me.
Great. Thanks so much, Layal. And
Yep.
again, it's the Move America team, we all really work together, but Layal certainly on the front lines with client services. So we really do appreciate her joining us today. And I am part of the outreach team. And along with Meg Pace, we are the ones who are trying to conduct the outreach to let people know more about Move America, let them know about the Mentor-Protégé Program and how we are involved with that, pretty much anything that we can. And our goal, as far as what we really want to accomplish with this outreach, what we really want to accomplish with Move America, we want to make sure that we are becoming an emerging force in the defense industrial base development and supply chain assistance. So Move America does that, again, a few different ways. We're helping to advance technologies to expand national security capabilities. We are increasing that federal market access for functionality and relevant suppliers. We're making sure that we're building those innovative networks that are going to serve as the infrastructure for technology development. And we're conducting industrial based research and delivering technical assistance to small businesses to improve supply chain resilience. So, again, those are a few of the different tasks that we have here within our mission at Move America. And our outreach team is going to be letting people know about everything that we're doing, whether it's related to the Mentor Protege program, whether it's related to the Rapid Innovation Accelerator. That is another initiative that we're putting out there, or whether it's just again helping with that defense supply chain resilience. All of that information is going to be available. If you are not following us on LinkedIn, please do so. Our LinkedIn page is a major source of information. We're also going to be relaunching our website in the very near future, where we're going to have a lot of great information on there. We are having webinars like this every single month. So these monthly webinars hopefully will give you the information that you need to navigate the supply chain, to get into the supply chain, to make sure that you are being the best business that you can be. And then we are also going to be launching a podcast series, and that podcast series is going to be coming up very soon. So again, a lot of great stuff that we're going to be doing on the outreach side that I want to make you aware of. Please make sure you're following us on LinkedIn, and that is where we're going to be making all of these great announcements. So without further ado, I want to introduce our speaker today. Carolyn Campbell is our Director of Programs and Projects here at Move America. Now, she leads a team that supports DoD and the MPP. She also guides small businesses in joining the defense industrial base. She's helped establish the Rapid Innovation Accelerator in Miami, and she's raised awareness on FOCI, foreign ownership, control, or influence. Carolyn is a 33-year veteran of the U.S. Air Force. She had a long career in acquisition and program management, and she oversaw a $60 billion annual budget for more than 550 Air Force programs. She's got a BS in electrical engineering from Clemson University, an MBA from Chapman University, and she also holds Master of Arts and Master of Science degrees in military and national security studies. So without further ado, I want to introduce our speaker today, Carolyn Campbell. Carolyn, take it away. Did we lose Carolyn? Carolyn, you're on mute.
Carolyn, you're on mute. Yeah.
There we are.
There we go. Way to start it off. So good afternoon, everyone. Thank you, Rick, for that introduction. This afternoon, in a short period of time, I will try to explain to you this MPP in two parts. Basically, you heard Layal talk about the MPPI, which is the Mentor-Protégé Intermediary, and then we talk about the MPP program. Rick, can you change slides, please? This is your slide. Fast forward.
Sorry about that. I completely forgot that I was going to be doing that. So I was mentioning to you before about the Rapid Innovation Accelerator. And this is a strategic initiative that's aimed at enhancing cybersecurity compliance among small businesses in Prince George's County, Maryland, in Miami, Florida. We're really looking on focusing on achieving cybersecurity maturity model certification to improve business competitiveness and defense contracting. And we're also doing a lot of matchmaking with the Rapid Innovation Accelerator. Again, we are trying to help the small businesses and the large contractors meet each other so that they're able to work together. The small businesses meet each other so that they're able to work together. And we're also trying to get them involved with the local government. So we really are pushing this Rapid Innovation Accelerator ahead. Again, we have one established in Miami, looking to establish one in Maryland. So this is definitely something that we want to make sure that you are aware of, and be looking for more information about RIA, as we like to call it, and that's going to be coming up very soon.
So now
Back
we
to
will
you,
talk
Carolyn.
about the MPP intermediary. The word intermediary is what you should focus on right now. And why do we say intermediary? Because it's a team within MoveAmerica that actually focus on the Mentor-Protégé Program. We are here to help the government PMs. We're here to help DoD, OSBP actually execute the program. We want to serve as a management core in a consortium like public-private sector teaming format. And when I say a teaming format, is that we're not doing this alone. We do this with the government, and we also working very closely with the mentors and the proteges. The management core, we want to expand the MPP accessibility to more companies, more proteges, more mentors. We want to streamline some of those administrative processes, especially the contracting process. We believe we can do that a little bit faster than the government can, because we can actually focus more on MPP rather than having to compete with some of the other major weapon systems. We want to enhance support to the small business community before, during, and after we do these engagements. Next slide, please. So the Mentor-Protégé Program, most of you have heard about that, otherwise you would not be here. Before we go into that even further though, I want to talk more about the MPPI. We've gotten several questions about how do we protect everyone's information? How do we work with the government? How do we work with academia? And how do we work with industry? Well, our first thing we want to do is let everyone know that we protect your intellectual property and information. We do that by signing an NDA with the government, and where required, we've actually signed NDAs with other companies. We do not compete with the mentors and proteges. In our cooperative agreement, it states that we are here just to assist OSBP. So no one has to worry about us competing with you when it comes to getting mentor-protege agreements. We don't compete with you when it comes to transitioning technology, and we're not going to exploit your technology. We're going to protect it as best we can. Next slide, please. So the Mentor-Protégé Program started back in 1990. So for over 3 decades, it was a pilot program. So in a pilot program, you don't have to do as much recording, and you don't have to have as much oversight from Congress and other agencies. But in an FY23 NDAA, Congress changed all that. MPP became a program of record. Next slide. Becoming a program of record brings a lot more oversight from Congress, a lot more record keeping. Everybody has visibility on you, because now people want to know, are you spending this money in a way that's going to bring the greatest return on investment for the United States government? So NDA, FY23 NDAA actually lowered the threshold for mentor eligibility from 100 million to 25 million. That allows many more companies to be able to come in and serve as mentors to our proteges. It increased the duration of relationships. In the past, mentor-protege agreements were only 2 years. With NDAA FY23, they're now 3, with the option to do 2 additional years for a total of 5. It enhances data collection. OSBP now has to do yearly or annual reports to Congress on data from the MPP program. They don't know what we're getting our return on investment in. Are we actually helping small businesses? Are we actually getting new technologies for the Department of Defense? And also established a 5-year pilot program, which many of you are really interested in. And that pilot program is actually a protege pilot program, where proteges, if they have expertise in like science and engineering, software development, can actually be paid up to 25% of what the other MPA agreement was that they're associated with. So in the past, proteges never got any payment. It's all about reimbursing the mentors for assisting proteges. But with the new pilot program, now proteges can be reimbursed. That is a specialized program. Everything is a separate application process, and everything has to go through and be approved by the director of OSBP. Next slide. Speaking of the director of the MPP program at OSBP, that's Ms. Casey Diaz. I think most of you know who she is. Many of you who participated in the Mentor-Protégé Program have probably had the opportunity to actually meet her in person at past events. But she likes to stress that the purpose of the Mentor-Protégé Program is to help you, small businesses, in competing in the prime DoD contracting space. Not only do we want you to become subcontractors, but we also want you to be able to come in as primes and maybe have some of the mentors or some of the previous primes be subcontractors to you. The Mentor-Protégé Program is all about education, collaboration, technology transfer, technology enhancement, business infrastructure, cybersecurity readiness, and manufacturability. Next slide. The program goals for the MPP program are to increase participation. We want more mentors. We want more proteges. But in essence, we want more people participating in the defense industrial base. There's a whole segment of companies out there in the small business sector, women-owned, small disadvantaged business-owned, historically unutilized businesses who don't normally get the opportunity to participate or compete in the DoD space because they run into so many barriers. Because they are small, they can't overcome those barriers. And the MPP program is established to help those companies overcome some of those barriers and challenges so that they can become more competitive in that DoD contracting space. It's to facilitate long-term relationships. Not only do we want to facilitate long-term relationships between mentors and proteges, because proteges actually can help the mentors in different contracting spaces and vice versa. But we also want to facilitate long-term relationships between mentors, proteges, and the Department of Defense. And then finally, what the ultimate goal is to increase capabilities for the warfighter. Next slide. Mentor qualifications. As I said before, NDAA FY23 actually reduced some of those qualifications and made it a little bit easier for people to come into this space. First, you have to be a for-profit entity. You have to be in good standing with the federal government, and you must have a prior year contract of at least $25 million. To become a mentor is not that difficult. Basically, you go on to the DoD business website and you apply. Once you apply, it takes about 2 weeks to actually get an approval through DoD OSBP. Not everyone gets approved. If you are disapproved, you can also come back at another time, and because DoD will tell you what it is that you lack in order to participate in the mentor space. Next slide. Protege qualifications. We talked about these small disadvantaged businesses. We are looking for you. It's no secret that a lot of the new innovative ideas, new technologies are developed by smaller companies. They're developed in somebody's garage, they're developed in somebody's basement, and we want those companies to bring those ideas in. So we've already talked about being service disabled, women owned, the people you don't normally see competing in the space. Those are the folks that we are targeting for this program. Next slide. There are 3 types of agreements. You have the cost reimbursable agreements. All the mentors are familiar with this, and most mentors are actually applying for those where they're reimbursed for the cost that they spend to help the proteges. You have the credit agreements that are worked through DCMA, where you can actually get credit for your subcontracting work. And then you have hybrid agreements, which can be a combination of cost reimbursable and credit agreements. And those also work through DCMA. Next slide. When you start talking about putting an agreement together, it basically has 2 parts that we're focusing on. One is technology transfer, and this other is developmental assistance. Now, if you look at other MPP programs like the Small Business Administration, maybe a little bit different than DoD. In DoD, we're focused more on the tech transfer piece. So when you bring an agreement in, we're looking for it to at least be 51%, technology to be at least 51% of what you're presenting, and then developmental assistance can make up the other 49%. So a lot of focus on technology because that's where we are right now. We start looking at the critical technologies that the critical technology list that DoD present each year. That's what we want to focus on. But that doesn't mean people doing other things can't be a part of an MPP program. It may not be DoD's program. You may have to look at small business, or you may have to look at commerce or HHS or NASA to find something that actually fits for you. Next slide. Both mentors and proteges benefit from the MPP program. First, mentors, you develop those relationships with these smaller businesses that you can use as your subcontractors because you can go to them directly without having to compete. You want to develop a high quality subcontracting pool. It makes it easier when you try to compete for contracts to actually go to someone you already know, work with someone you've already been working with, so you know what the ins and outs are, you know what their strengths and their weaknesses are. For proteges, they get to acquire technology transfer. They get assistance in engineering and technical training. They get help with CMMC and ISO certification. So any help you need in your back shop or in your tech shop, the mentors can help you with that to better prepare you to become competitive in the DoD contracting space. Next slide. Benefits to the Department of Defense. After all, this is what it's all about. At the end of the day, we want to create a DIB that supports the warfighter. We're to bring more innovation tech into our defense acquisition programs, develop a more capable small business defense industrial base, and ensure capacity and capability are there to support our warfighter. We don't want to be caught in another situation like we were with the COVID pandemic, when a lot of the materials, a lot of the things we needed, we had to actually bring them in offshore. That created a lot of difficulty for us. I actually had the opportunity to work in that space, and it was not easy trying to find what we needed for our national security when we had to depend on so many other people. So we want to bring some of that back home. We know it's there. We know our small businesses are developing what we need, and we want to actually flesh that out and bring that to the forefront into the DIB. Thank you. Next slide, Rick. A little bit of background information. We talked about data collection. I am a little bit embarrassed because this talks about FY22 and we're now in FY25, but this is the data that we have in our hand. In FY22, you had small businesses doing like $4.9 billion in the defense space, 84 billion to overall, but only like 6% was from protege firms. We want to increase that number as much as we can. We want to make a significant improvement on that. Now, it all depends on the funding that we get from Congress. And as the intermediary, it's our job to help OSBP actually make this program as efficient and as streamlined as possible, because we want to take the majority of the funding that we do get, we want it going into agreements. We don't want to lose funding. We don't want to expire funding. So we want to manage that a little bit better. And that's going to help us grow this number, because by growing this number, we grow the number of you who can actually come into the DIB to participate in our contracting process. Next slide. How do you participate in MPP? You establish that relationship. If you're a mentor, you find some proteges. If you're a protege, you find mentors. We in the DoD, we, MoveAmerica, or the DoD, we cannot pair you. We can bring you into a space. We can bring you into an environment like this. We can create networking opportunities, but we can't pair you. But your best partner is going to be someone you already know. If you're a protege, there's a company that you've been working with that you should want to be your mentor, to bring you along. And as a mentor, you want to definitely have that compatibility and be able to communicate with the protege firm that you bring in. Do you determine the type of agreement that you want to go after? Most, like I said, in the last year I've been in this program, most have been reimbursable agreements. They're probably a little bit easier to manage than the other two. Less paperwork. So you determine that. You develop that agreement. For DoD, remember that it has to be at least 51% tech-based. Then you submit the agreement proposal, start the agreement, submit your reporting, and then ask all the questions you need to throughout that process. Now that really simplifies it. If you come through MoveAmerica, depends on if you go through one of the services or one of the agencies, everyone has a specific way that they actually do business of the MPP program. Our process may be a little bit different than the Air Force, which may be a little bit different from DITRA or DLA. So you just have to think about the agency or service that you're working through, and that will determine each of the steps that you must follow in order to get to a successful agreement. Next slide. I mentioned some of the agencies that we are actually supporting, but these are the agencies and components that within DoD that are actually participating in the MPP program. Army, Navy, Air Force, the big guys, and then you have your other ones, DITRA, I don't want to miss anyone, SOCOM, DISA, DHA, the Missile Defense Agency. You can reach out to any of these agencies. They all have active MPP programs. I think it's at DIA right now. They're in a little bit of hiatus a little bit, but they should be coming back up online sometime during this year. But you can reach out to any of their program managers. You can come through us in MoveAmerica, and we can put you in touch with the right people. But normally what you'll do is you'll see a BAA or some announcement in sam.gov. And that's the first place you want to start. And it'll have all the direction and contact information that you need. But I just wanted to highlight these are all the agencies and services that are participating in the DoD MPP program at this point in time. Next slide. I get calls and people want to know, well, do you have a current mentor list? This list is probably not all inclusive, but it gives you an idea of the type of companies that are actually willing to devote their time and resources to assist small businesses and help develop them to become big business. Just give you a second to take a look through this, and your name's probably on here. If not, we can get you on here. If it should be on here, we just need to update it. But if you are out there and you would like to be a mentor because you see the group that you would be in company with, just please go to the OSBP website and apply. If you have trouble getting there, you can contact us and we'll direct you. Next slide. Along the same line, we wanted to highlight some of the current proteges we have. I know for a fact that this list is not completely updated because we've done, in the last 3 months, we, MoveAmerica, have done like 20 new agreements, and all those companies are not on here. But we'll get this updated. We're going to work with OSBP and get these slides updated. So hopefully we have them updated before the MPP summit. Next slide. Keys to success. Mentors. You got to recognize what the proteges need, what their limitations, their resources are. I've noticed that a lot of small businesses, they may not have just a conglomerate of resources of people. I see people with 4 employees, 6 employees. So mentors, you have to remember that when you're talking about going in and helping them, it's like you may have to help them a little more than you realize because they are so small. And the Mentor-Protégé Program does not intend to interrupt any contracts that they have ongoing or any business that they have ongoing. It's supposed to be in addition to and help them with those contracts and help them get more contracts. Remember, we want to grow those proteges. And using the authorized subcontractors, which are your HBCUs, your small business development centers, your women development centers, you have your MIIs, your manufacturing institutes, and also your Apex accelerators. I don't want to leave them out. Those are all the subcontractors that you can use as you're actually executing these agreements. A lot of them come free, some of them charge, but those are costs that you can actually recoup as you go through the program. Protege, you got to realistically look at yourself. Are you in a position to actually commit to this program? Because the 3 things that both have to do is you got to communicate, you have to be compatible, and you have to commit. If you're not communicating, there's going to be some discord. If you're not compatible, that's just a recipe for disaster. And then everyone has to be committed because it is a lot of work. And then you have to do a lot of reporting. So you're working together, making sure everything's delivered to the government that they need, while at the same time, the proteges are getting what they need from the mentors. Next slide. So I know I talked fast and I went through that very quickly because I wanted to leave some time for questions and answers, but I would be remiss in my duties if I didn't mention the upcoming Mentor Protege Summit. This summit this year is going to be held in Puerto Rico. the last week of April, like the 28th of April through the 1st of May. So be looking for that on the DoD website. This summit presents an opportunity for you to learn more about MPP, learn about any changes in the program. But the big thing I believe people get from the MPP summit is just the opportunity to network. Mentors are there, proteges are there, authorized subcontractors is there, the Department of Defense is there. So this is an opportunity to get in there, get to know the people. And if you don't have a mentor, gives you an opportunity to come and meet potential mentors. If you don't have proteges, it gives you an opportunity to come and meet potential proteges. We're excited about the Mentor-Protégé Program. I know I can speak for Ms. Casey Diaz and say that she wants to say a big thank you to all of our mentors who actually take the time to help grow and develop new companies that may compete with you in the future, but you're not worrying about that. What you're worrying about is creating a defense industrial base that is sustainable. So thank you for that. Thank you to all the proteges who are committed to actually making that extra investment to try to grow yourself to become a mentor or either just become another appreciated asset for the Department of Defense. One thing that will happen at the summit that we didn't put in here, last year, if any of you participated in the summit, we did a pitch perfect where DoD decided to make on-the-spot awards to companies, mentors, and proteges who were willing to come in and pitch their ideas right there on the spot, kind of like a Shark Tank, and they were judged on the spot and were awarded contracts. Now, it takes a little time after that to basically get everything on contract, but at least you know that you have that award pending and just have to do the back work to get it done. That will be done again this year at the summit. Details will be coming out in the very near future. I will tell you that it may not be just like last year. I think last year we had 4 companies or 4 teams that presented, and all 4 were presented with awards. This year it may not be that. So everybody probably won't get an award. It all depends on our budget, on DoD's budget, and we will see how that goes. That does not mean you can't get one in the future. You may not get it right there that day at the summit. Next slide. So back to you, Rick.
Now I muted myself. Yeah, so we've reached the end of our slide presentation, and now we've got room for some questions and answers. I see folks are submitting them through the chat, which is perfectly fine, or you can submit them through the Q&A panel. So I've got those up. So I'm going to go ahead and start with the ones that we have through the Q&A panel. So one question we have right now, Carolyn, is can a protege be a mentor?
A protege can grow up to be a mentor. So as long as you meet the requirements if you go to the mentor slide that shows the requirements to become a mentor, the $25 million in the previous year, definitely you have mentors now who are excited, they say, because they grew up in the Mentor-Protégé Program. They were actually a protege at one point, and now they are mentors. So they're excited about being able to give back to other companies as someone gave back to them.
So what I'm gonna guess is maybe the question was, if you're a current protege, can you also be a mentor to a different company?
Probably not. I will not say no, but probably not. OSBP probably would not approve that for you to do that unless you meet all the requirements. I don't know how you would be able to do both, but that's possible. But I haven't had that question before. But I tell you what, I will go back and get a clarified answer or a definitive answer from the folks who lead the program, that being DoD OSBP.
Excellent. Couple of other questions we have. Are any of the DoD Mentor-Protégé in-person events held in states other than Puerto Rico?
So we will have an MPP pre-summit in Miami. That will be in March. Last year, the Mentor-Protégé Summit was held in Detroit. So it moves around. The summit is only once a year, but there are other events. And as Rich explained earlier, we're helping OSBP develop a strategic communication plan that would take us to other areas, other states. So if there are opportunities that you think present for us to come out there and brief Mentor-Protégé, then please let us know.
Absolutely. And that is one thing to keep in mind. Be sure again to follow us on our LinkedIn page, Move America's LinkedIn page. It's moveamerica.org is the name of the LinkedIn page. But we want to make sure that you are following along because we will announce when we have any of these when we have any of these outreach events, whether it's an in-person event or a virtual event, we'll be sure to make sure to get that information to you on our calendar on our LinkedIn page. We did have a question about, is it possible to get these slides? We are going to have a video available, and we will make a PDF of the slide deck, a limited PDF available. So we'll make sure we get those. There's a
So Rick, I
question
would like
about
to add
whether,
on the previous
okay,
question about activities. Also,
yep,
check with the local Apex accelerators. They hold events, and we can also come and support them with MPP. But we have Apex accelerators in almost every state. There are 107 of them, so there's probably one near you, and they have a schedule of events that may assist you in accomplishing whatever your mission is.
perfect. There was a question as to whether there will be a virtual participation option. I'm guessing that's for the Mentor-Protégé Summit. Um, I don't, I don't believe we have an answer to that question, but we can certainly pose it to DoD OSBP.
Correct. I actually, someone called me this morning and asked me that same question, and I told them I will ask DoD OSBP during our weekly meeting tomorrow if they plan to actually make any of this summit virtual.
Okay. Next question, will the agency sponsor a facility clearance?
Oh, good question. Some agencies may, but I know Move America is actually working on the capability to sponsor facility clearances. That is one of our core goals, I guess, or one of the tasks that we were given by OSBP. I don't know the date that we'll actually be able to do that, but I know it's in the works. So just stay engaged, stay in contact with us, and we will let you know. And also, we're working with some other companies outside that offer clear spaces. So if you have a need, just let us know, and we'll definitely work through that.
Excellent. And then we have a question about what are the costs that are involved to participate in the program as a protege?
Your cost is time and your resources. Basically, as a protege, you committing that time from your employees to actually go through the development program that you build with the mentor. And then there's no monetary cost, so to speak, but your time, your resources, that's huge. So you really have to think about that. Can you afford to commit that as you go into an MPA or mentor protege agreement?
Very good. Um, a reminder, anybody who has your hand up, please make sure that you're asking a question either through the chat or through the Q&A panel. We're not going to be able to unmute anyone's microphone or turn on your camera. So that's the only way for you to ask a question is to go ahead and put it in the Q&A panel. Hang on a second as I go through. Here we go. Will the presentations be in English or Spanish for the Mentor Protege Summit in Puerto Rico?
Right now, I'm sure the plan is to have them in English, but that's another thought, another idea that I would bring forward to OSBP to see if they've thought through that, considering the location where we're having it. But I'll add that to my list of questions for them, and we can provide the answers. Just give me a call or send me an email to remind me, and I can put that information out.
Excellent. And then one more question. Can you define further what would be considered a small business?
So look at the small business requirements as far as the size of your NAICS codes, what the Small Business Administration determines to be a small business. Think about it in that terms. So I don't have any specifics, but what does the small business classify as a small business? Do you fit within those guidelines? Do you fit within that size framework?
Excellent. And then we have someone who had joined late who wants to know where they can sign up for the Mentor-Protégé program.
I think we should have that person contact us directly to get a better understanding of what it is they're trying to do. Are they trying to be a mentor? Are they trying to be a protege? Just what their purpose is. So if they contact us, we'll definitely have that conversation with them. And we can offer these briefings one-on-one to anybody who wants one. I know I kind of went through this very fast today, and it didn't give you an opportunity to actually engage and interchange and exchange information. But if you want a one-on-one presentation on a smaller group, please contact us. We're definitely willing to do that. Either myself, my supervisor, Vic Chambers, or I have 7 program managers who can give this briefing as well or better than I can. So we're all here to help guide you and basically educate you on what the MPP program is and what it requires for success.
Another question that we have is, will procurement officers for the participating commands be present at the MPP conference?
Yes, they were last year, so I assume they will be this year. Our plan is to also consider even bringing our procurement officers or our contracting officers who are actually executing the MPA agreements on behalf of OSBP as far as the mentor-protege intermediary.
Very good.
But
There's a
again,
question
I'll
about
bring that.
go ahead.
That's one of those things, Rick, that we'll definitely put on our discussion points with OSBP to remind them that people are interested in talking to the procurement officers as well.
Absolutely. And then we have a question about, is there a website that someone can visit to learn more about the upcoming summit in Puerto Rico?
They just sent out the save the date like 2 days ago, so I'm not sure they have the website up and running yet. But just stay in tune to the DoD OSBP website. They normally will have a link on there.
Excellent. And then we'll also make sure that we're sharing that through our LinkedIn page as well as soon as they announce that. Okay, we have a few more questions. Could you elaborate on the 3 key success points you mentioned for proteges in the Mentor-Protégé program, specifically a high-level overview of what contributes to a small business's success in the program, the essential actions they should focus on, and the typical timeline for achieving meaningful progress?
Okay, so first of all, you need to be committed to the program. And when it first starts out, the mentor and the protege, you actually do an assessment, and the mentor determines where your needs are, helps you determine where your needs are. They want to highlight your strengths and your weaknesses. So you're doing a SWOT analysis of your company. And then the mentor, you along with the mentor, plan out where it is you need help or where it is you want help or where can you benefit the most. And that depends on your success, depends on how committed you are to it, how well you can execute the plan that you and your mentor develop. And then are you getting something on the back end? Are you getting new contracts? Have you found a way into the DoD contracting space? Have you increased the number of your employees? Those are all measurements of success.
Very good. A few more questions through the Q&A panel. We're a small business looking for a mentor. Can you share some information to whom I can reach out?
So that would depend on what your business base is. And we have different forums for you to meet different mentors. We have all the networking events. We want you to show up, reach out into us. Sometimes we have mentors that are looking for proteges, and we can actually help create a space where you can actually meet each other. We work with the different agencies to do networking events, so we can make sure that they invite you to those networking events. Again, neither MoveAmerica nor the government can actually pair a team together. We can just create those opportunities for you to meet and engage each other. But like I said, each one of the services and agencies are constantly having networking events. MoveAmerica is planning networking events. Get us your information and we'll make sure you're invited to those. We can introduce you to the Manufacturing Innovation Institutes. We can introduce you to some of the Apex accelerators and the ManTech office. There are mentors out there looking for proteges, and there are opportunities for you to meet those mentors at these different events.
And then someone did ask, what are the dates for the pre-summit event in Miami?
Is that Rick? You would know that better than I do. Is it 25 through 27 March during the Emerge conference in Miami? Which date was the
It, it is, I believe it is just before the emerge date. We're going to have a formal announcement of that on our LinkedIn page. So we'll make sure that we get that information over to you. It is just before Emerge Americas in Miami, but I don't have the date directly in front of me. But we'll make sure that we look that up and we get that information over to you. Couple more questions that we have time
25
for.
March?
25 March. Okay, we excellent. Yep. So it's going to be March 25th, and again, we'll make sure that we get that information over to you if you're interested in participating. Question: how does Move America facilitate the MPP relationship?
So we work with the agency first, or the services that service that wants us to help them. We work with them. We help establish their BAA, their broad area announcement, or we work with them on their pitch ideas or their white papers, and then we provide the mentors with a list of all the requirements that they need to fulfill for that agency or that service, and we help them develop those. We help them with, if you need feedback on writing your agreement, we help with that. If you need feedback on what it is the agency or service is really looking for, we can help that. We are that person. We're that support agency. We're not replacing the government. We're just enhancing their ability to focus on you, the men of proteges, because sometimes they have other duties and they get distracted. But that gives us an opportunity to help them help you, and in a consistent manner, in a streamlined manner. So whatever the service or agency needs us to do, we, Move America, help them walk companies through the process. I'm not sure I answered the question, but if someone wants to give me a call, we can have a conversation. I can just lay out all the things that we do. But we're not here replacing anybody. People want to know, how does this replace the government PM? It doesn't. We work hand in hand with that government PM. Nothing is done without the government's approval or input. So we are a true support contractor to them.
And then we have a question: can we provide via email an updated critical technology list?
Sure, we can do that. You can easily Google
We're
it, but we can do that as well. If you can just Google the DoD critical technology list, and it'll pop right up. I think the last one I Googled was February 2024. So we should have one coming out soon, but February 2024 was the latest. I actually pulled it up last week.
And then someone wants to know, are there contracts that are set aside for companies in the Mentor-Protégé program?
I'm not sure how to answer that question. If you're in the Mentor-Protégé program and you're a small business, there are small business set-asides. But if you're in the Mentor-Protégé program, you're able to compete better for those contracts because now you have a mentor who can probably help you. So as a small business, there are set-asides. So I think you should, yeah, small business set-aside. So look at it from that standpoint. Not that it's specific to the proteges, but it's small business.
And then someone is asking, what is the process, or what are the steps that are needed to present at the Mentor-Protégé Summit?
As far as Pitch Perfect goes, is that what they're talking about?
I'm going to assume yes.
So those directions will be coming out soon. We're working with DoD OSBP at this point to get that on the street as soon as possible. I saw a draft last week, so you will be able to apply through that process. But keep your eyes open. That should be out soon because we are in February and the summit is in April. So, and just keep in touch with us. I would tell them to keep in touch with us. If they don't see anything, call us, and we'll be able to help them with that.
We'll definitely make sure that we're putting that information out on our LinkedIn page as well. Someone is asking who they should reach out to coordinate a briefing as a potential mentor.
I think they should come through us first, and then we can point them in the right direction as far as what mission set and DoD they represent. So if they come to us, Move America, we can help them say, you know what, you need to really talk to SOCOM, or you really need to talk to DLA or the Air Force. So if they come to us first, that will be, I think, the best bet. You can always go through the MPP portal, but I'm not sure how responsive that would be. I know if you come to us, you're going to get a response as soon as possible.
Few
Rick,
more
are they
questions
asking?
over. Oh,
But you said they're asking about a briefing for Mentor-Protégé, right? Not as far as becoming a mentor.
so they're asking for a briefing. For they're a potential mentor company, it seems, and so they're
Okay.
looking to get a briefing on what it is that they would need to do.
Okay, so that is they apply through the Mentor-Protégé program, but still I would say they can come through us and we can help guide them through that process.
Few more questions that we have time for. As a mentor, how many proteges can my company work with at a time?
So this is a good question as well. We got this question last week. I've seen mentors come in that have like 3 proteges. Now mentors can have more than 1 protege, but it can't happen in the reverse. Proteges can only have 1 mentor. So OSBP owes us an answer. There are no restrictions on the number at this point. There's no written guidance on anything, the number. I've seen up to 3 for 1 mentor, but it has to be a number that you can actually handle. It has to be a number that you can actually make sure that you're taking care of those proteges and sharing the information that you should be. You can't be a 10-person company trying to help 5 proteges. That's probably not the best recipe for success.
And then
But I'm
we do have some.
that.
Yes. We're going to make sure that we get that guidance from OSBP. Someone is asking, is this or could it is this currently or could it be on the city level to implement? They represent a city government.
Could MPP be on the city level? I'm not understanding the question.
Yeah, I'm not sure I am either. I think we'll reach out to that person directly.
Okay.
And
Their
see
contact
if.
information.
Yep. Oh, and well, actually, I do have an answer. So, I just was speaking with the head of our Dearborn Apex Accelerator, who said that the person who is asking for the city council and bringing opportunities for the city to be involved, you can contact our Apex Accelerator in Dearborn. Their website, which Meg will put into the chat as well, is dearbornapex.com. And they will be more than happy to get in touch with you and give you all the information you need. So we're happy to make that introduction. Again, somebody who probably joined late or is looking for a little more clarification. What are the qualifications to become a protege, and how would a company proceed?
To become a protege, again, we go back, make sure they get the briefing so they can see that one slide. They have to be a size that's defined by the Small Business Administration. They have to be in good standing. There's no, I don't want to say there's no real restrictions, but there are restrictions. A protege, you should be, right now we're focusing on those underutilized communities, but you can become a protege if you are already in that space presenting capabilities that DoD is using, if you're not one of those underutilized businesses. So I would like for that person to kind of contact me one-on-one, and I can actually walk through the list of requirements. And also they can go take a look at DFARS Appendix I, which spells them out very clearly, the requirements for the proteges and requirements for mentors.
Excellent. Had a few people ask if this is going to be, the slides are going to be available. Again, we are going to have a recording of this webinar that we are going to be posting, and we'll be putting that up on our LinkedIn page. So please make sure you're following Move America on our LinkedIn page, moveamerica.org, and we'll go ahead and put the recording of this webinar up there. And then people are asking about the contact details for all of the folks who are presenting today. We'll make sure that when we post the video, we also have our email addresses attached to the video. So when we put that out there, we'll make sure that we get you the contact details for Carolyn. We get you the contact details for Leal, although I know she has put hers in the chat. And then mine and Meg as well on the strategic communication side. We're more than happy to share our contact details. Last chance to ask any questions. All right, so I'm thinking that we have reached the end of our questions, at least for now. Oh, wait, I'm seeing maybe something in chat. Okay, so again, thank you so much for joining us today. We really do appreciate it. Carolyn, thank you for sharing all of this great information. We certainly loved having you. And like I said at the beginning of the webinar, Move America is going to be launching our new podcast. It's called Pathways to Partnership, and that's going to be launching very soon. And I'm happy to say that Carolyn is our first guest, where she's going to be talking a little bit more about the Mentor-Protégé Program, how Move America acts as the intermediary, and giving an overview of the Mentor-Protégé Program. So make sure that you get to tune in for that. But again, Carolyn, thank you so much for presenting today. We really appreciated you doing this for us. I say everybody is overwhelmingly saying that you did a fantastic job. So not that we had any doubt that you would.
Well,
Also
thank you.
want to thank, oh, you're welcome. I'm sorry, go ahead.
I want to say thank you, and thank you for everyone for joining us. I know this was fast and dirty, but if you want more information or just a kind of slow down where you can ask all your questions, please contact us. I just wanted to put that out there, that we're willing to help you where we can.
We will make sure that we do that. And then also want to thank Leal for joining us on the client services side. And Leal did post into the meeting chat a link to a survey. Please go ahead and fill that out so that we can make sure that we get your contact information. We can follow up with you. And then I also want to thank Meg Pace on my strategic communications team for setting up this webinar and doing such a great job working on all of the different aspects. So again, we're going to be holding these webinars monthly. So please be watching our LinkedIn page as we make announcements for future webinars. We're going to be making announcements for the Mentor-Protégé Summit, for the pre-summit event, for our appearance at Emerge Americas. We're going to be talking about the MPP program. We're going to be talking about our podcast. There's a lot of great stuff going on. So please make sure that you are watching. We're going to end this session now. But again, thank you everyone who joined us this afternoon. We really do appreciate it. And we look forward to giving you even more information in the future. For all of the Move America team, this is Rick from Move America saying thank you so much and have yourself a wonderful day.